Alright, what's going on, everyone? Now today I decided to do something different. I'll still be making the normal news slash story videos, but I want to react to something different. Today we got scary stories. Why scary stories? Because it's been raining for the past few days and I'm loving the weather. These stories are similar to the ones I normally make videos about. And what I mean by that is, these stories are real stories that actually happened, and there are pictures and news stories, or articles, which I'll leave in the description below.
In 2014, Alan Ruby was a 19-year-old freshman studying political science at the University of Oklahoma.
Ah, shucks. This first story is about a college student? Oh man, I hope this ends well. What am I saying? I know this won't end well. This video is called Images with Disturbing Backgrounds.
Despite being relatively modest and soft-spoken in person, on social media, he projected this lifestyle of wealth and grandeur. He'd oftentimes post pictures of exotic sports cars and expensive watches and clothes, and he would travel the world to Paris, London, New York City, and take all these pictures showing off this incredible life he had. Alan was only able to project this phony lifestyle on social media because he was spending his father's money. His father was a successful businessman who was also the publisher of a newspaper that was quite successful, and so Alan would just spend his money, and then even after his father would give him money, Alan would steal his credit card and additionally rack up thousands of dollars of credit card debt. But as media began to shift away from print media to almost all digital, a lot of newspapers began to fail because they weren't able to transition to digital. And his father's newspaper was not making that transition very well, and they were losing money left and right.
Alan gives us a prime example of how social media is fake. I'm sure you've heard this multiple times because I know I have. But yeah, social media tricks your brain into thinking getting likes and followers is a good thing. It gives you a dopamine hit every time you ask. The instant gratification you get from social media detrains your brain. You will start to expect everything you do to be instant, and when it's not, it's harder to finish because your brain is used to getting its dopamine when it wants it. So when you can't get it in an instant, well, you know the rest.
Alan steals his grandmother's credit card and secretly leaves the country and goes to Paris to have this vacation on his own. He's taking these pictures in front of the Eiffel Tower and he's spending all this money. And his father finds out that he's stolen this credit card and he's furious. And instead of waiting for Alan to come home and saying, "Don't do that again," he decides he's going to send him a message that he's going to remember. And he calls the police. Alan gets charged with theft. He pleads guilty and he has to go before a judge who sees that he has no criminal record. So he kind of goes easy on him.
Oh my goodness. This is absolutely pathetic. I would never steal from my family. I don't know about you guys, but my family means more to me than some money or online clout. Alan accumulated thousands of dollars in credit card debt. Debt that was not in his name because it was his dad's credit card. This is what I mean. People get hooked on social media and do crazy things to keep up. Think about all the challenges people did. You got the Tide Pod challenge, right? You got the crate challenge, the one that surfaced like last week. What other crazy challenges were there? Well, you get the point. Alright, I don't need to make a list. I guess this isn't a scary story, but it's a real story with real articles that you can read. It's more like a true crime story. They call cops on him. I would have too. I just want to say shout out to Mr. Ballen for providing the story for the day. It saves me a lot of time and energy. I'm just kidding, that's a joke. I was just watching one of his videos and thought, oh, these were some interesting stories.
As soon as he got back from court, he was stealing from people outside of the family. He was taking loans from loan sharks. All of this just to keep up with his phony appearance he portrayed on social media. On October 9th, 2014, Alan owed $3,000 to a particular loan shark and had no way of paying it back. So instead of asking his parents for money, which for him would have been too embarrassing, he decides the best course of action is to kill his entire family.
I'm not going to get into everything wrong with social media and how it affects your brain and society. There's a documentary on Netflix that will explain it called The Social Dilemma. I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, please do. It's very important to anyone who's on a social media or who works with social media.
Because his big plan is, with his whole family gone, he's going to become the sole heir to the family's estate, and that will be enough money to not only pay off this $3,000 debt, but have a little left over so he can go on vacation to Paris again. So after he's committed this horrible crime, he leaves his family where they are. He goes and takes the surveillance footage from inside the house. It was on a DVD, takes the DVD out, takes the murder weapon, leaves the house, chucks the DVD and the weapon into a lake, and proceeds to drive to Dallas, where he checks into a very fancy hotel and meets up with friends and parties the whole weekend.
I feel like this is the plot of a movie. Him killing a family member for the inheritance. I'm just glad he didn't use a knife or switch out the meds. That would have been horrible. He would have got hit with a murder case and a copyright lawsuit. At least he's someone smart enough for ditching the murder weapon and whatnot. But he didn't burn his clothes. Definitely burn your clothes after doing illegal activities. Can I say that? Like, legally? He killed his family members and went to hang out with his friends. There's a joke in here, and I'm not gonna be the one to say it. In all actuality, this is heartbreaking to hear. I send condolences to the remaining family members. I know I saw a lot of jokes about Alan, but I don't care about Alan. I don't care about this person unless I legally have to protect myself. Last thing I want is to kill my family member over a lawsuit payment.
Alan would confess, and the prosecutor wanted to push for the death penalty, but Alan's remaining living family members actually said, don't do the death penalty. We don't want to risk that not happening. We want to see justice served right now. Can we create a plea agreement where he gets life in jail, but there's absolutely no way for him to get paroled, no matter how good his behavior is, no matter how old he is, no matter what, he can't ever get out of jail. And so they did. They created that plea agreement. They gave it to Alan to sign. He signs it, and as they're walking out of the courtroom, his last remaining family members disown him and say, may God have mercy on your soul, and they leave.
That's the story. Let me know if you want me to do more reactions videos or the news/story videos. This has been Crizzle, not selling my soul for clout and sounding off.
What lies behind the veil? Tossing Oxstar. Portal here. Portal here. I'm recharging my shields. Throwing an Oxstar.